Hi, thank you guys. Thanks for coming back. And we've got Dr. Q. Hi, Dr. Q. I think Dr. Q. There we go. Hi, Dr. Q. Sorry, you were muted there for a second.
Yeah, no. Hi, Leanne. How are you doing?
I'm good, and yourself, Doc?
I'm awesome. Thank you. And greetings to everybody. Thanks for organizing such a wonderful event.
Thank you. Part of World Fertility Day, if anyone has just joined us, it's World Fertility Day, so we've got a great lineup with docs, with lots of fertility specialists, as well as talks on. We've just had a talk on adoption, and we're going to have a talk from a surrogate mother as well, and quite a few talks with fertility specialists. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment section if you are following us on Facebook or Instagram. And at the end of the talks, we will be doing a Q&A with another specialist. So thank you for joining us, Dr. Q. And today's topic with you is infertility in the African culture. So, yeah, it's quite a big topic. And I think I needed to get you to do this talk. And especially because you're a woman. Very importantly. So for you guys, I just think I actually need to say a bit more about Dr. Q. She's the first specialist that owns a fertility specialist, the first Black African woman that owns a fertility specialist clinic in South Africa. Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct. First woman.
First woman, sorry. And then so the first question is, what is the impact of infertility in the African culture?
You know what, Leanne, and all the listeners, the impact is very huge. And I would say the results thereof are not even specifically culturally based. It's just that the way the culture will have an impact more on the whether or not couples go out and seek treatment. So the same as most couples who will be affected by infertility, there will be mental health issues, things like anxiety, and the couple, if not specifically the woman, mostly in the African culture, will end up undergoing depression. It can even end up in suicide, because she would be ostracized because of the culture. She is not woman enough. So she will be ostracized in the community. At times, you know, some women will end up being called like men or referred to as men, because if you cannot produce a child, therefore you don't have a womb like a man, you know. So that's the stigma that is associated with that. So those are the things that will end up causing women to just end up being suicidal. And besides them committing suicide, there's also the risk, and there's been instances where they end up even being killed by their partners because they are not producing children. So then you find issues of homicide actually being practiced. And besides that as well, then obviously the relationship will be affected, which will end up in infidelity. So it's either party can end up being unfaithful. The man will be thinking, this woman is not giving me children, therefore let me go outside and get a woman who will give me kids. Then from infidelity, you get STIs. STIs come in the relationship now, which end up worsening the issue of infertility or the abnormalities and the pathology that is associated with infidelity, with infertility. Then the infidelity can also be on the woman's side, because now she is trying to cover herself up. So because remember, Africa is a very patriarchal continent. If not the world we are living in, it's full of patriarchy, and therefore the men are hardly found at fault when it comes to infertility, because the child comes out of the woman. If no child is coming out of this relationship, therefore the woman is at fault. So that is the level of ignorance or lack of knowledge that is also associated with this. So then the woman now, to cover herself, ends up secretly having somebody on the side who then becomes an affair, or they have an affair, and then either, if she's not the problem, if it's a male fertility factor, then a child actually comes into the marriage who really does not even belong to this man. Wow. So those are just the stunts and the effect that infertility has on the couple, of which then eventually there's also a divorce that ends up happening should things be revealed and infidelity be caught, or the relationship gets so bad that there's been threats of killing and all of that, that then the couple ends up being divorced as well.
Yeah. There's a reason why I chose this topic, Doc, is when I just started Fertility Solutions, I got somebody DM'd me in my inbox, and they said to me that she doesn't know what to do right now. Her in-laws are busy packing up her bags. And I mean, I've mentioned this before. They're busy packing up her bags, and they're taking her back to her parents because she cannot conceive a child. And I mean, this woman was sobbing, and she was broken, you know.
Exactly.
And I just feel that it's just, you know, you don't know what more to say. And I said, you know, if I was anywhere close to you, I would be there and try and be by your side. But unfortunately, she was in another town and stuff. That is what I'm saying. I mean, maybe it wasn't even her. Maybe it was, you know, the man at fault. But this is why I just thought, this is why I chose this topic.
Exactly. And because of that, you know, you find in other instances that they either send the woman packing, or they would just bring another wife. Say, okay, we are no longer monogamy anymore. We are not longer practicing monogamy anymore. We've become polygamous, and why don't you get a second wife to help? Because again, in the African culture, it's all about increasing the family name, you know, and maintaining the legacy. And more than that also comes, even when you give birth and it's only girl children, then there's also this issue that I need a heir. I need somebody to carry the family name, and I need a boy child. And then again, you are not regarded woman enough if you have given birth to 3 girls or 4 girls, or even 5 times. Some women try 6 times, and it's only girls. And that's when, again, they'll say, let's bring a second wife. But again, look at this. It is actually lack of knowledge, you know, and the word says, my people die due to lack of knowledge. So it is actually lack of knowledge. And you will find that, again, because they take it that, okay, when I said lack of knowledge, especially when it comes to gender, for those who are not aware as yet, gender is determined by the male gender. So it is the male or the sperm that actually determines whether the child becomes a girl or a boy. Women have got only XX. The eggs have got XX genes, and that gives girls. So when an X is combined with an X sperm, then you get a girl child. But if the man actually gives, because he's got X's and Y's, so if he gives a Y sperm, then that determines the gender of the child and gives the couple a boy child. So it has nothing to do with the woman anyway. Even if that Y is defective, then the child automatically becomes a girl. So because of lack of knowledge, then it will still be blamed on the woman. And because of the African culture, you find that they don't even come for checkups, because their first point of entry to medicine is traditional medicine. So because of culture, they will take the couple to the closest or the best or well-known inyanga, or ngaga, or whichever traditional healer, sangoma, whatever the healer may be called. And then they'll be drinking muti. I mean, there's a video we are doing of from one of our patients who just wants to tell the whole world how successful her IVF was. And she's telling us how she was made to drink monkey's pee by the Inyangas. So she was told that if you go and you get the pee of a monkey, I don't even know where and how do you even manage to get monkey pee, but it was sought after, and they got the pee, and she had to drink monkey's pee traditionally and culturally so that she could actually fall pregnant. And obviously it didn't work, you know. So again, you find that they delay seeking treatment because for 6 months or a year or 2 years, they are drinking monkey's pee. The following 2 years, they go to the next sangoma and they're drinking this. And age ends up becoming an issue. Even by the time they present to us as fertility specialists, maybe in their next relationship, or maybe they don't even need to present to us if they find somebody else and they're pregnant. I've had a lot of women who were blamed constantly. And then the moment they meet somebody else, voila, they are pregnant.
Yeah, pregnant.
Only to show that, you know, it was actually a male factor, really, not even her fault.
Okay. What are the expectations of an African couple once they are married? Is it like immediately they need to conceive, or?
You know what? It's most times it's not even after marriage. Even personally, my father-in-law, before he even became my father-in-law, he would say to my husband, just bring the child, just have a child and bring the child home. You know, you don't even need to wait for this marriage thing. But then, and so the moment you are married, when we got married, I decided I'm going to finish my internship, which was 2 years, and then maybe start stop contraception at the end of internship, and then during community service, then start having babies. And my husband and I then agreed it was not a problem. But by the time the 2 years were ending, I was already sat down and told, you know what? Wealth and growth is good. You guys are buying property. You're doing well. We are happy for you. But children are also part of wealth. They are also another form of wealth. So they need the children. So children.
The pressure is there.
The pressure is real. The pressure is real. I promise you. You think you're just marrying the person. Actually, according to culture, African culture, you are told that you are not just marrying your wife or your husband. You are marrying them and their Yala family, the whole family. So you are marrying into this family. They are all part of your agenda. So then immediately the pressure is there, all eyes on you. You guys must just start procreating and producing children right from the start. So culturally, no, it truly is. It's a real pressure because regardless of what you guys have planned as a couple, even if you are understanding of each other, but the pressure is there. And every family gathering, you will be asked, so when are the children coming?
Yeah. Sure. So how does infertility affect the woman, especially with her husband and his family? I think we just ran through most of that now. Of how it actually affects a woman.
Yeah, so there's a stigma that's associated with that. Most times, if you are not bearing kids, then women are called names. Because it actually brings about shame on her as well. So then they'll be calling you Mr. So-and-so. Or they'll be saying Ntate so and so. So if my surname is Diale, so Kinantate Diale, Mr. Diale, because I'm no longer Mrs. Diale. you know, because I'm more like the males now. You are called barren, which is, there's a name for it in Zulu. It sounds very vulgar, because when we say barren, it's like barren. But imagine someone saying it's in your face, that barren woman there, you know. So they say inyumba, they call you inyumba or nyuba in Setswana. They'll call you a witch, because you are probably killing the fruits of your womb. You are not producing. You are using whatever that you are meant to conceive, or you conceive. You're using it for muti. You know, you are called a failure, basically. So obviously that deeply affects the female herself, and it actually affects the relationship. And that's when, you know, they'll be taking you here, there, and everywhere. They'll move you from one traditional healer to the next.
Yeah.
And
Doctor, yeah. No, sorry, I was just about to say to you that, you know, it's not part of the questions that I'm asking, but what can be done in order to almost educate or inform people more, and these women not actually go through this? Because I can't imagine being, you know, someone made a joke once to me about something like that. My in-law said something as part of a joke, but not realizing, you know, it actually affected me.
Yes.
But I mean, if these women are being constantly called, I mean, I can't imagine somebody saying Mr. Khadin to me, you know. What can we do as a collective to actually assist these women that are going through this, or the people that is expecting all this and doesn't understand that she's dealing with infertility? What can we do?
Look, there's no other way except to really destigmatize infertility. And it comes through empowering women, empowering men, empowering our society through such platforms, through knowledge. When they listen to the radio, they must be able to relate that, oh, this is my sister-in-law. Oh, it means my sister-in-law is going through this. Oh, they must be able to hear from other platforms. When they go on Twitter, they must come across something. These are discussions that we should be having, that even people that are not affected but affect others through their lack of knowledge should be aware of. That, look, infertility is actually a disease. The definition is that it is a disease of the reproductive system. So really, they are going through something, and there should be means and ways that we treat them. And instead of adding to the shame and the stigma, rather we assist, maybe by booking a consult with a fertility specialist. These people are expensive, more than 2,000 Rand a consult, plus minus, you know. So invest towards their investigations, at least. Inform them of such opportunities out there. But then, speaking of culture again, you find that even when they come through, because of their culture, the treatment options are actually quite limited. If the couple is Muslim, for example, the man is not allowed to masturbate. For us to do a semen analysis, how do we know that if he has sperm or not? Because some men are born without any sperm presence in the testes, you know, or they have undistended testes, or whatever the problem is. So it becomes difficult to diagnose because of cultural backgrounds, unless they now say, okay, I will go against my culture so that I can be assisted, or I will go against my religion so that I be assisted. Then you find that a woman maybe has primary ovarian insufficiency, or already it's too late. They are now 45 and they want a kid. They no longer have eggs. And we say, look, your solution will be to get a donor egg.
Donor egg, yeah.
Then the response will be, my ancestors will not accept that child. Because if I get an unknown donor, I don't know the ancestral background of that child. That's also another limitation that they actually even go through because of cultural or religious backgrounds.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I've heard or I've been told or heard people saying that you are a man because you have children. What happens when his wife is not able to bear children to that man? How does it affect the men as well?
Yes, it's both ways. When it comes to women in African culture, as I said, your womanhood is defined by your motherhood.
Yeah.
So if you are not a mother, then you are not woman enough. The same with men, their manhood is determined by their fatherhood. And if they are not fathers, they are not regarded as men. Firstly, you are regarded as a man now if you're married. Then they'll be like, yeah, welcome, well done, son, hey, you're a man now, you're a man from boys to men, Then you're married, then the expectations are higher, and now they're waiting for kids. So should kids not come, you can imagine what it does to the ego of that man as well. And then obviously initially and most times it's taken that the fault is the woman. And you find that at times couples actually do go check, and you find that the fault is with, or the problem, not really faults, I'm sorry. The problem or the issue is with the man. Yeah. And the woman, because she's been blamed for the past however many years, she ends up even covering for the men and continuing with that and keeps the picture like that and not tell them, just to protect and to cover the man, and not even tell his parents to say, look, actually, this is the problem. I am the one with the issue, and this is what needs to be done. So it has a lot to do with their self-esteem and all of that. But it takes men with huge responsibility for men to own up to the issue and take responsibility and come forth and say, I am willing to be tested. I am willing to do what is necessary. There's times where you find that there's no sperm, maybe for the man, or it's too poor or too few, then a donor sperm is needed. We've had instances where the men will say, if you are getting donor sperm, therefore you must get donor eggs. Wow. And we're like, no, but at least the eggs we don't have problems with the eggs. The lady is young, she can produce good eggs. The problem is with the sperm. So then the issue will be like, if you are using donated sperm, you might have like at least one biological parent, Yes. So it has to do with a mindset. Once it goes into the mind and they're able to dissect it and ingest and be able to accept and understand, maybe they can go and research and see if there are other options, but then it becomes very easy when the couple is able to accept the situation and see how best can medicine intervene to make a change and help them to produce a child, regardless of looking at the source.
Okay. Are fertility treatments still seen as taboo when a couple cannot conceive?
Yes, in most African cultures, they will say it's unnatural. Whatever you do, even giving them a tablet of letrozole to say, okay, for this, let's try this and, see if we can get ovulation. No, it is unnatural. As something as simple as that. And going a bit deeper, it would be considering things like donor eggs and donor sperms, which have some ancestral background. They would even consider getting, most times, if ever they had to consider donors, they would consider then, if they have to take the cultural aspects into consideration, they would consider getting a known donor. Because at least if it's my sister's eggs, we share the same ancestor. And when we speak to our ancestors, this child will be accepted. Or if we get my brother's sperm rather than someone we don't know, then the ancestors can still be appeased. So culturally, and you find even educated people, you know, you find people you would think, okay, you know, you were expecting more lateral thinking and all of that, but you find them sitting and saying that, look, my ancestors will not approve of this. There is no such thing as me getting an egg from another woman that I don't know, and things like that. So yes, unfortunately, because of cultural beliefs, assisted reproduction is still seen as taboo until the couple is able to really accept and say, look, outside of my culture, between me and you, doctor, let's work out a solution so that we can go forward and have the child or the treatment that we need to give us the child.
Okay. Doc, please tell us if women want to get hold of you, tell us where you're based and tell us what services you offer.
Okay, so we are based in Pretoria. We are Family Matters Fertility Center. We are based in Pretoria, in Centurion. We have an Instagram page, Family Fertility. And we have Facebook and YouTube channels. You can just Google us and find us on Family Matters Fertility Center. And our phone number is 012-644-0299. So we offer all services that are related to infertility, from the time of investigations to find out where the problem is. We help, it's funny because most of our couples will come in just for investigation, and you find that we even help them to just conceive naturally without any intervention actually needed. So to natural conception, in intrauterine insemination or artificial insemination, where we put the sperm inside the lady after preparing, and all the way to in vitro fertilization. We do egg freezing, sperm freezing. All those fertility facilities are available.
Great. Thank you very much, Dr. Q. It's always a pleasure having you. Always like to have a little bit of a laugh with you. And thank you very much for joining us on this World Fertility Day and trying to create awareness for couples and women out there dealing with infertility. Have a great evening, Doc.
Thanks, Leanne, and thanks for hosting such a wonderful activity. All the best.
Thank you. Bye.
Sure. Bye.
So we're just going to have a 2-minute break. We're going to